Welcome to Caleb Can't Read. This is Jordan Rabel.
I'm Caleb Terrence.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, good. We already had like a... Oh.
I think that ought to be our vocalization warm-up for every session.
Everyone is just...
It's just to do Smooth by Santana, guest featuring Rob Thomas from Grammy-nominated Matchbox 20.
No, our warm-up for every episode at this point is going in and then looking down and seeing right error on the recording device.
Good thing that we were just...
everything over and losing it.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we were just hating on each other for like 3 or 4 minutes before we were actually doing any information.
No, of course we don't have shit. We don't have dick for listeners or like
don't have shit for dick, bitch.
or anything like that. But if anything, we have like this is like an anti endorsement for the PodTrack before that it's just running.
They can pay us not to say that.
They couldn't fucking pay me to take that off. Honestly, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, the amount of grief this thing has given us. We just start like every fucking episode now, just like bitching about it. And
that's
no
fine. That's good.
What we have going
helps us with our vocalization,
and we'll see how fucking far we get. You're a quarter ways down a 40 of Old English right now.
Shut up! It's my dinner.
Why? Why did you start buying this?
You know, because I did it once where I was like, okay, so when we were making oil changing money. Sometimes I would only have enough time going from like closing shift to my opening shift in like going to 7-Eleven, only being able to like spend $6 and boom, I could get a pack of potato chips, a hot dog and a 40 of Old English and
come back drunk on your lunch break.
And no, just go to bed drunk so that I make sure I get a good night's sleep. But either way, I mean, it's a cost-efficient meal. Let's see, how many calories are in this? Why don't they have nutritional facts on these things?
Because it's more liquor. I don't know.
Probably, why not?
Probably the same reason it's not glass anymore, man.
Yeah, so that when you keep dropping it, you're just...
Well, no, I feel like nobody made it plastic because people were dropping them accidentally because they were shit-faced. I mean, it was because people
throwing them.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
Yeah, the only time I've seen 40s break is when my brother intentionally threw them.
The bottles are pretty fucking durable. Like,
yeah, not those Corona ones though. That's what. Yeah. But I will say the Plaid Pantry parking lot did win that battle.
Plaid Pantry parking lot wins every battle, brother.
Yeah, it's a good bathroom stop too.
Anytime if you're heading into a battle, check your surroundings. If you're in a corner store parking lot, maybe reconsider.
If you're going into a Plaid Pantry parking lot, all I'm saying is that there's like an 80-20 chance, 20 on the side of you will be getting into a fight. Just whenever you're going in, just walk over one of those cement barrier things and see how many of them are loose, have loose pieces coming off, because it will help.
I mean, all the ones in front of the doors usually. I wish Sean was here right now.
Oh, Sean would be able to tell us.
Oh, my God. I miss him. We need to have him back more. His voice was amazing. Like I have just that bit where he was with us. Like all the little bits where he actually spoke can be probably consolidated into like one little 5-minute fucking segment. But it was so buttery smooth and nice and soothing, wasn't it?
I like how like between the both of us, we only know people with gruffer voices than ours. We're the two shrillest men on the block, and we're just like, let's do a podcast. Well, anyway, so last episode, we went over Homer, the mythical legend who did not exist. He never did, but hey.
The compilation of myths under this dude's name, right?
Yeah, basically over centuries, there's just a bunch of little stories that got compiled together, eventually ending with a man named Demetrios who compiled them all sometime in the 1400s, and these two works, the Iliad and the Odyssey, were the two that nobody knew where they came from exactly. So, ta-da, that's Homer's legacy right there. But, he didn't do any of this.
Yeah, and you told me to go over the last episode before we went into this, just so I was like up to speed and everything, because I would forget it in a week.
Of course you would.
As I do.
As I did.
And yeah, one thing I noticed like going into it is like when we were talking about Helen being abducted and, supposedly shot by an arrow to fall in love and all, all that dumb shit. And then going over, like, we immediately assumed that dude's original husband had whole context of the story. Like, we didn't talk about we just like rolled with it as if he knew what was going on and didn't just like think that she had been kidnapped. Well, so when we were talking about the cause of the war, we were all like, oh man, this is ridiculous. Like, oh, he's just going over because like his wife just fucking left and ran over there. And it was like, no, he had no idea. Right. She's just missing now, and she's over here.
And I will say, like, I don't remember if there was ever, like, a fucking letter that she left beforehand or some shit. But either way, he could have not known. And you're right, though. How would he have known to gone to Troy? I can't recall how that happened.
It's something, but as far as, like, as far as he knows, wife's missing... And then Troy's that way, and license plate just says Troy, and then numbers on it, and he's like, motherfucker!
Just Greek fucking... Oh, who the fuck is Phi Kappa Kappa? Well, this episode's going to be all about the Odyssey, so let's just get into it.
Sick.
And it opens like this. Tell me, Muse, of that man so ready at need, who wandered far and wide, after he had sacked the sacred citadel of Troy, and many were the men whose towns he saw, and whose mind he learnt, yea, and many the woes he suffered in his heart upon the deep, striving to win his own life and the return of his company. End quote. I just feel more threatened by you. Like, had you gone to school, you would have been a fucking jock. Like, just ready to start beating people up.
Wait, what? I'm not following. What do you want? What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you.
Okay.
Do you want my milk money?
I feel like we stumbled there. Proceed.
Anyway, so this story, the Odyssey, it also begins with a call to the Muses. We begin with Odysseus, a hero of the 10-year Trojan War, collecting his thoughts on the beaches of Ogygia, an island so remote, no one has been near enough to rescue him for an additional 10 years. So it's been 20 years since Odysseus left his home of Ithaca to fight in the war. And while all the other heroes have returned, only Odysseus and his former crew are missing. Odysseus left behind his wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus, then a newborn infant, now 20. His family has pretty much resigned to the fact that he's never coming home.
Goddamn, how old is he now? Is he like 40?
You think he was 40, like gone at 20 and then come back? Like, oh, he's probably fucking 50 at least.
Jesus, Murph.
I mean, they kind of married off the chicks young, but the dudes were usually like, oh, you're my fifth one of these.
So he's trying to do a voyage back that's going to take fucking X amount of years. Homie, dude, I'm sorry at like 28. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine what they've been doing on that island for 10 years. I mean, I'm sure that they had a great time up until they realized that they could escape. We were going to have drama night tonight. You really were leaving? And as such, Penelope has asked the suitors of Ithaca to come to her palace, where they've since come in droves as pretty much to just ransack the place. Now, you see, the reason Odysseus has been stuck on Ogygia for quite some time is because the gods have been in kind of a legal battle for him. The gods are fine with Odysseus leaving Ogygia and just any time he damn well pleases. But Poseidon has claimed Odysseus' life for his own. And so for 10 years, it's been a constant argument between Zeus and Poseidon, like, come on, let him leave. And Poseidon was just like, no. So finally what Zeus does is send Athena in disguise to Ithaca to have a talk with Odysseus' son, Telemachus. Pretty much telling him to tell the...
fucking God, these names.
The names?
Dude. Jesus Christ.
Do you remember nothing from God of War? I mean, come on.
No, why would I? There is no point in God of War except smack it, fucking die as Shiva die or whatever. Like, I don't know, like...
I suppose the point of all Greek mythology is to smack it as well,
In various forms. Corkscrew dick forms. Big dick
Man, just
forms.
remember I remember the day I became a man and I brought home God of War on PS2. And the first thing that you're able to do is turn right around and play a mini game where you fuck the two ladies.
God damn it. Press X to slam.
Oh, man.
No, wait. No. It was square.
You circled the analog stick.
It was like a whole little mini game.
Yeah, it was. It was a whole thing to try and knock the vase off the side table.
Because that meant you were good at sex, was like slamming them like you wanted to hurt them.
Yeah, that's how I knew I was good at sex. So anyways, Athena has gone to Ithaca to talk with Odysseus' son Telemachus, pretty much telling him to tell the other suitors that Odysseus is coming back, and if they don't fuck right off by the time he gets back, it's going to be a goddamn massacre. And of course, when he does tell them, they all laugh about it, and they ask Penelope when she plans on choosing one of these swarthy young bachelors, and she's like, when I'm finished knitting this funeral blanket for my father-in-law. Odysseus' dad isn't dead, by the way, but they know his time is almost up, so she just, like, getting prepared. But every night, she's pulling the thread of the blanket to undo all the work she did the day before, so the time is never going to come.
Nobody notices it.
Right? Like, I was pretty sure that you sewed an eyeball into that one guy yesterday, and now he's faceless. Weird.
Yeah, maybe they just think she's really bad at it.
Could be. Like, oh my god.
I don't care how bad you are at sewing. I just want the hand. Like, like
we have employed our own cook here, right? Meanwhile,
brother,
what? She's bad at sewing. There's no way she can cook.
Well, that's all she does all day.
Is cook?
See, sew and she sucks at it. Nobody's going to get suspicious.
She's been practicing.
I mean, like, maybe if she, like, does a whole bunch of other shit all day and then, you know, settles down at the end of the night, like, for 20 minutes of sewing, like, oh, yeah, no, this is the shit I suck at, you know, then it wouldn't be suspect. But if that's all you do all day...
Well, she's looking up different knit patterns online and shit, you know?
Then there's other things to call into question, like, just general cognitive ability. Like, if this is the only thing you do and you can't do it...
Or, hey, what's a computer?
Oh.
Well, meanwhile...
What is a computer? I can't type.
What are frogs? Meanwhile... The gods have gathered on Olympus to discuss Odysseus' fate yet again. But this time everyone's cool with him leaving, mostly because the other gods just conveniently forgot to tell Poseidon about this particular meeting. So the one guy who wants him staying on the island, they just kind of conveniently forgot to tell him that this meeting was happening. So they unanimously say, hey, he can leave. But when gods tell Odysseus the good news, there's one person who still isn't cool with him leaving the island. Calypso is a sort of sea nymph, you know, like a water deity. You know,
he's not even a god.
Sea slut.
Who gives a shit?
Not as high up as all the bigwigs up on the mountain, but basically
he's going to be cantankerous.
She's still a demigod. Well, for the last 10 years, Calypso has been thirsting for Odysseus. She does not want him gone. Zeus orders her to give him up anyway, and she goes on this long tirade of the double standards among the gods. I mean, it's just cool if the guys go along and impregnate the whole countryside, but she can't have a little tush? And they're like, yeah, but those are one-night stands. You've had this guy on lockdown for a fucking decade. So Calypso loses her custody battle and is ordered to send Odysseus off the island. She fucking builds him a raft, gives him provisions, and he sets sail to the island of the Phaeacians. It's a very one-sided, tearful goodbye between them. Well, who should be coming back from vacation in Ethiopia, literally, but Poseidon himself? He sees Odysseus sailing off, and he's like, I didn't sign off on this, and he smashes his raft in a storm. Well, luckily, Odysseus winds up on the exact island he was aiming for, the island of the Phaeacians, who are in the middle of a festival dedicated to none other than Poseidon. So Odysseus is naked and alone on the shores of the island when Athena shows up to tell him, you need the help of the king and queen here to get off the island. See if their naked daughter bathing in the waterfall over there will help you out.
Rad.
This seems like entrapment. I don't know about that.
This almost seems like it's written by someone who is...
Oddly enough, I've seen this style of writing on fan fiction sites today. And, well, but here's the thing. Athena disguises Odysseus to be just the daughter's type.
You must wash my daughter's boobs in soapy suds.
God. Well, she disguises Odysseus to be just her type. Sure enough, there was a second waterfall that day, coming from the daughter.
Oh, dude. No.
We don't need to talk about her age.
Good.
Now, anyway,
Whoa! You took it there with no reason to.
I don't actually know how old she is. I'm assuming of age.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm
places.
saying you took it there with no reason to. Now proceed.
So anyway, This girl gets her parents to help out this naked stranger, and they figure, well, fuck it. We're already throwing a festival. Why not have a celebration for this beautiful nudist as well? So during the night's feast, there's a bard that's singing a song about an argument that happened between Odysseus and Achilles while they were at Troy. And remembering his now dead friend, Odysseus begins to cry. Here's the thing. We didn't see either of these things happen in the Iliad.
Yeah, wait, why didn't we talk about their relationship at all in the last episode?
Right. You have to remember that the Iliad only took place over the course of a single week, I think in the last year of the war. So we have to assume all this shit happened sometime after that.
Oh, okay.
So the Phaeacian king and queen notice their guest crying, but they let it go. And later on, Odysseus takes the bard aside and asks if he could do one about the Trojan horse. And he does, and Odysseus starts crying again. And the king and queen catch him again, and they're like, buddy, you fucking all right?
Oh, no, you're a bitch. You're going to be really sad when the skeletons come after you.
It's the wrong tale, but that's okay.
Oh,
it's Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh, okay. My bad. I just thought,
I could just see that. I saw that
helmets.
Information just leave your fucking eyes as soon as I said it too. Like, you're like, thank you for that info. I will remember that and write that down. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I just like that they're like, oh no, you're not just a nudist. You were some nerd that got beaten up and his clothes taken away. This poor, beautiful stranger. So Odysseus just breaks down to them. He's like, I can't do it, man. I'm Odysseus. And they're like, well, what the hell are you doing here? So Odysseus tells them his tale of woe, and it goes like this. After Troy, Odysseus and his men leave for home on a fleet of 12 ships. But before they get back, they figure they have time to do a little pillaging. You know, boy stuff. They go into the land of the Sicones? Who cares? Where the Sycomones, where they quickly defeat their forces and start a bit of ransacking. Unfortunately, they overstay their welcome a little too long. Enough time.
What do you mean overstay their welcome a bit by ransacking? Like they pillage
by a few months,
pillage a bit too much. Okay, now everybody's pissed. Like, hang on. Now, the looting and raping was fine at first, but I mean, come on, guys. You've been here over 78 hours. This is a bit absurd.
This is no longer just a panty raid, is it? This is some serious stuff. Well,
you're really overstaying your rape welcome here.
So they overstay it enough time for a large number of reinforcements to arrive and kill a handful of Odysseus's men before they have time to escape. You're right. That had to have taken a while. Somebody to run out, say, hey, get prepared, wake up your men, make sure they have a full-fledged meal, and then follow me. So they do have time to escape, however, a good portion of Odysseus's men.
Good?
Back in the sea. Well, sure. I mean, more than all of them dead, I guess.
Yeah, for our hero.
Back in the sea, Odysseus, our hero, our rapist hero. Back in the sea, Odysseus and his crew are swept away by a storm to the island of the Lotus Eaters. The natives there show the soldiers the magic of the lotus fruit, where all of a sudden Odysseus's men want nothing more than to stay on the island, where they can eat more of the fruit, sleep 22 hours a day, and listen to the Stone Pilots' 1992 hit album, Core.
It's heroin.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep, it's poppy flowers.
It's opium.
It's opium.
Yeah. God damn. That's the shittiest drug. But at the same time, absolutely ravaging our city. But if you roll down to Salem and then you see the people that are huffed up on meth instead of heroin, you'll be like, oh, no, heroin's fine. No, this is good, actually. I'll take the heroin junkies over the super methed up, scary as fuck ones any day. For some reason, like, the meth doesn't degrade the muscle mass at all.
They got nothing more to do than to just work out. They don't want to stay still.
For Christ's sake, it's terrifying.
It's great for your core. Yeah.
Go on. How so?
Well, as Artie Lang said it, meth is a great drug if you want to walk to St. Louis in a weekend. So, they're just on this island, and as they're starting to eat the fruit, they just see, like, more bathtubs starting to rise up, and dudes just being like, oh, this looks like a good place to sleep. Just all the fucking copper wiring starts disappearing. So Odysseus had to literally drag his motherfucking guys off Heroin Island and lock them up in the brig so they wouldn't try running back, which, by the way, is a real fucking downer and all around gives harsh vibes. Well, back on the sea, Odysseus and his crew soon dock amongst the island of the Cyclopses.
The whole crew docked.
Oh, they all docked. They took turns. I know you were probably trying to lick up some little bits of beer on the bottom lip, but I really liked how you were talking about docking and just bit your lower lip. It's just they're all docking, and that's totally gay. So they land on the island of the Cyclopses.
The dreams of one who is circumcised.
Now, while dangerous, the Cyclopses, I'm going to start to fucking just, my mind, as I say more about one-eyed monsters, is just going to start looking like dicks in my mind. So while dangerous, the Cyclopses are known to mostly
picture it as a dick. It's funnier. Go on.
The Cyclopses are known to mostly hang around further inland. So as long as Odysseus and his men stick relatively close to shore, they shouldn't run across any of these one-eyed monsters. Yeah. So the soldiers are hunting these sheep. Stop. His men are hunting these sheep that are all around the hillside, right? Well, sure enough, they come across a cave with a shitload of sheep in it, as well as boxes of milk and cheese. And Odysseus is like, "Wow, would you look at this place? These sheep must have just herded themselves into this giant cave, and they must have carried all these provisions with them. It's almost like someone lives here."
Oh, classic Whitey. Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, all of Odysseus can't wait to loot all this and bring it to a museum.
Look, there's nobody here.
What about all those guys we just killed? They couldn't have lived here. They were invaders.
Look at all this shit I found.
There's nothing but a bunch of dead bodies in here.
Look,
a bunch of treasure.
It's processed food. Whoa.
Just growing out of a cave.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, all of Odysseus's guys are like, "Odysseus, get the fuck out of there, dude. This isn't fucking funny. Let's go." But it's too late. A Cyclops...
You want cheese or not?
Well, we are white. We do. Yeah, cheese is good. A Cyclops by the name of Polyphemus has arrived. But in their good luck, he's a rare, non-cannibalistic Cyclops, and he is thrilled to have company. So
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's vegan. Well, he's got the milk and cheese, so he's vegetarian at the very least. And he is thrilled to have company. So he invites Odysseus and all his men to a little sheep fry that night.
He's like, "Yeah, come on, fellow white men.
Yeah.
Crackers and cheese." And
they're having a great time. They're laughing. They're joking. It starts to rain a bit. So Polyphemus blocks the exit to the cave with the giant rock, to not let any rain in. And they're singing. And Polyphemus is a bit of a joker, so he picks up a couple guys and put them in his mouth. And they're telling stories. Oh. And Polyphemus bites a couple guys in half.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Everyone's too shit-faced, though, at this point to do anything about it. But while they're
too shit-faced to do anything about it. I'm shit-faced right now. I'm doing something about the podcast. It's bad, but I'm reacting.
You're sitting and talking. I'm sure they were doing the same thing. Like, Polyphemus is just picking them up and by the handfuls, putting them in cages, and they're like, "You know what, man? Say that to my face." Like,
no, absolutely not. No, they must be like, no, they must still be on heroin. No, there's no fucking
true.
way.
They did recently come off of heroin
cave,
too.
You can fucking be like, "What the fucking giant," and then go after it. Like,
well, Odysseus thinks maybe they can just attack him all at once and kill this guy, But he realizes that even with all their strength, they still won't be able to move that giant boulder blocking the exit. They'll be stuck in there. So Odysseus comes up with a plan. The next day, he starts exchanging tales with Polyphemus.
Like,
They sleep it over. And the Cyclops does eat a couple people while there, but sure,
So he invites them in, grabs a couple people. Guys,
I can't tell if you're... Okay.
Right.
That was like one of three ways it could have gone.
So he invites them in. He's totally fucking cool, with the cheese and whatnot.
Yeah.
Invites them in, seals the door, starts eating people, and then just like scampers off somewhere deeper in the giant cave, and then just leaves them at the front.
What Polyphemus does?
No, the giant dude. what has
Polyphemus.
grabbed people and through. Yeah.
Well, he's put them all into cages at this point. He's like corralled them.
And then he's gone out because I'm, you know.
Oh, no. He's not very far away from them. He's just got a fire there kind of in the middle.
But then he just stops while he's still like in eye range of them and it's just like, yeah, that's enough for now. And
No. He's put them all in cages. So they're just like,
everybody's in cages.
Yeah, everyone's in cages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Because I was picturing just like a group at the door and he was just looking over like, yeah, they're not getting past the stone.
That would be way more evil.
And he's like, yeah, they're not getting past the stone. They're not getting out of the cage.
God, it's always like those the serial killer guys that are like, oh, you can try screaming. Go ahead, scream. No. I hate that shit. It's always so evil. It's just like, yeah, you getting tired now? Yeah, you can try kicking it down. Go ahead. Yeah. No, not working, is it? Yeah. Anybody? Oh. No,
almost
nobody's coming.
I thought this through. Very condescending.
Fucking evil shit. I hate that shit. I swear to God, it's the fucking worst. Anyway.
Oh, from experience.
Look, man.
Proceed, sir.
Don't ask why that door is locked. So the next day, Odysseus starts exchanging tales with Polyphemus. Just really gets him talking. And as we both know, stories go best with a bit of liquor. Hey. So Odysseus and Polyphemus are going back and forth with their tales.
Not malts, motherfucker.
Hey, you want to fight?
No.
About 3 more beers in.
I don't like doing that.
I love how it doesn't have a satisfying, like...
No, it doesn't have a ting bit.
It's just like...
It's just a sad plastic thing now that Old English has and also it's bad for the environment.
What, the plastic?
Yes.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about the plastic. I didn't ask for this.
God damn it, if you're going to destroy your body with Old English, at least make it recyclable.
You want me to pour it into a glass?
No, I want Old English to bring back the glass fucking 40 so that I can then drink half of it and then make my orange goblin. A twist on the brass monkey where instead of orange juice, I drink half of it down and then I fill the rest up with orange MD 2020.
Yeah, you know what? This message goes out to you, Old English, all right? I am tired of throwing your product at cop cars and having them just go thunk.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Keep weight to it, man. God damn, you're not a blue collar symbol. You're a lower class symbol. And you have dropped the fucking ball here. Like, fucking Christ.
Hey, man, if you want some. You just seem really curious
Absolutely
about it.
Not from the plastic.
Want a little bit? It's right over here.
No.
All right. Shh.
Fuck.
Lean away from the microphone.
Look at it.
So Odysseus and Polyphemus are going back and forth with their tales. And Polyphemus asks Odysseus what his name is. Odysseus says, my name is Nobody. Weird name. I know. It's a family name. It's Polish. And Polyphemus soon after falls asleep, just stone drunk. Well, at this point, Odysseus and his men escape from their cages. They heat up a big wooden stick in the fire pit, and they fucking put it out right in Polyphemus's eye. And he flies into a fucking rage, and he's screaming and shit. And his Cyclops neighbors...
Damn it, the obvious thing.
No, my one weak point. And his Cyclops...
My giant weak point, because I'm giant.
His Cyclops neighbors hear all this shit, and they show up...
neighbors?
Yeah. You know, there's other caves around. And his neighbors show up at the giant boulder, and they're like, hey, man, you all right? And Polyphemus is like, nobody's killing me. And they're like, well, all right. And they just leave.
This story's stupid.
Look, man, it's one of the first.
He just, knows the giant language. They just happen to speak the same language. The guy just takes it on face, yeah, my name's Nobody. Next time I get pulled over, my name's Nobody. Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Free Man. Oh, shit, it's a sovereign citizen. Oh, no, they know everything. Damn it.
Sir?
I'm going to talk to you about the Articles of Confederation. Oh, no, he's got me by the balls here.
My name's Not Guilty.
And surname, I'm free to go. All right, Mr. Not Guilty, free to go. Oh, thank you. Oh, damn it, he got me again. We should watch more sovereign citizens.
Judge has 2 forks in her eyes,
So, Polyphemus is looking for humans in a fucking tizzy, but he's fucking blind, so all he knows is that they're out of their cages. So like a smarty pants, He moves the boulder to somehow look for them outside, but also to let his sheep out to graze. Now, however, Odysseus and his men...
sound like a smarty pants to me.
Look, they're living in caves, all right?
Sounds like a dummy pants.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, not bad. All right.
So, however, Odysseus and his men have clung to the bottom of the sheep, like reverse riding them, all the way to their ships so they aren't spotted by other Cyclopses outside. And again, Polyphemus is blind. No one here is really a thinker. Anyway, they sail off, and Polyphemus is at the shore, and Odysseus calls out, "Hey, asshole! My name's not nobody, you dumbass! It's Odysseus! Fuck you!" And Polyphemus just calls up on his dad, who happens to be Poseidon, and tells him to fuck up Odysseus's journey home.
Why the fuck would Poseidon's
Look, we went into this last time.
No, we didn't.
No, you're around for hundreds of years. You want to fuck funny. You want to fuck different. All right? You try out being a horse. Hey, cool. Dolphin, whatever. A goose.
Yeah, I get that. But, like, why the fuck would Poseidon sire giants? That doesn't make any fucking... What was he fucking?
A giant. He was fucking another Cyclops.
Remember, there's a whole fucking community there.
Yeah, I know.
You told me.
I know. I'm not saying that he's the king of the giants. He just happens... This one is his son.
So Poseidon fucked a giant at some point.
Yeah.
And that particular one that got fucked with was Poseidon's son.
Yeah, exactly. It just was bad circumstance. That's all it was.
I mean, bad circumstance. And the sheep just... that they clung to just knew to go to the ships. They just knew. They just were trained to go to the fucking ships that were there. That weren't destroyed by the giants that could destroy them.
I'm starting to realize why you dropped out of school. You're just too smart. You're just too fucking smart.
That's what my mom said.
Did she also call you? Yeah, I'm the handsomest boy, 28 years running.
No, that's not what she said.
My sister is the handsomest boy. So, after their escape, Odysseus leads his fleet to an island that's home to a buddy of his. His name is Aeolus, and he's the ruler of the wind. Odysseus is eager to get home since they've had so many delays, so he holds a private conference with Aeolus, asking him if he can have a little something to get his fleet back to Ithaca a little faster. And Aeolus sets his homeboy up. He gives him a big bag of wind. Just point it at your sails, and you're good to go.
Sick.
Yeah, but be careful with it, because this is some powerful shit. So Odysseus does what he's told. When he gets back on the boat, only lets out a little bit to give his boat a little pep. Well, his boys think it's a bag of gold for whatever fucking reason, and they think Odysseus is trying to hide it from them.
Hey, wait a minute, that's gold! No, why would it be gold? It powered the boat. They're like, no.
Yeah, so they
Fuck
just...
you, raise my wage.
So what they do, they just tear it open. And they're just like, oh no, it's just a bag of farts.
How many of them get blasted off the bitch?
Well, they are literally within sight of Ithaca. Home is right fucking there. And all the ships get blown off course. Now, by the time the ships stop spinning, there's like no more wind in the sky itself, let alone in the bag. So they have to row their sorry asses to the nearest bit of land they can. And try and like just get bearings to where they are.
They're like pointing a whoopee cushion at the sails, and then someone pops it.
I just
like, no.
You better start farting at that sail, boy. Well, unfortunately,
breathing real fucking hard.
Just men passing out left and right. Fuck.
Keep going. Have you ever been on a fucking sailboat when things are just...
No, I'm terrified of the ocean.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But, I've been forced upon it. When it's just stale and nothing's moving. Fuck, it's the most boring thing in the world.
Because I was on like a Mexican schooner once, but I'm pretty sure they had a motor under there so that they wouldn't get stuck out to sea with a bunch of tourists anyway. So.
A fucking what?
It was a schooner.
A schooner.
It had a sail. It looks like a pirate ship. And I watched a couple of Mexican guys like hit each other's swords with like really weak metal so that it would spark. They They put on like Pirates of the Caribbean music and shit. I don't know, man. I was 16. What do you want? My parents thought it would be cool.
Okay, so I'm picturing you right now on some kind of touristy little, old wooden boat with sails and everything. Wind's not fucking blowing. You guys are just sitting out there in dead water, and the thing has like a motor on the bottom as a backup. Duh.
Yeah.
Right. And you're all just sitting there bored as fuck, and then two Mexican guys jump up as
exactly that.
And what a dull, horrible situation.
Look, man, nobody wants to go to museums with me. Anyway, I don't want to relive my childhood, especially the teen years. Why would you do this?
I thought that was something you would have done
16.
with your wife's family. I don't know.
No. Anyway, so unfortunately, this island that they go to houses a race of insane giants that just start scooping up soldiers by the handful and fucking eating them as soon as they land.
Whoa, we're back to giants?
Yeah. But this is weird. Like as they run back to,
why are there so many giants?
Well, I don't know, but these are like more like tribal fucking giants. They're crazy big. And as soon as they run back to their boats, the giants fling boulders down from the cliffs, sinking 11 of the 12 boats that made up their fleet. The only boat to survive, of course, was Odysseus's. So next they journey to the island of Aiaia, it's all vowels, where the witch Circe invites Odysseus and his men to a feast of cheese and wine, but it's laced. Not with anything fun. No, it turns half his men into pigs. Now, while Odysseus does force Circe to turn his men back, oh, she looks so cute, those twigs in her hair. Anyway, Odysseus shacks up with Circe for 1 full year. I mean, what's the rush?
Full year of your men being pigs.
Yeah, but, she's kind of cute.
Hey, but...
I'm trying to get back to my wife. Oh, I can't stay mad at you.
But damn, can she work a dick.
For a year? Now, before they move on to their next adventure, Odysseus raises some spirits in ceremony, trying to figure out what other fucked up shit they may have to face. One of them is an oracle. The oracle tells him he'll get back home just fine so long as they don't kill any sacred cattle along the way. Literally, just don't do that, and you'll be fine. It's very specific.
Oh, good. So they didn't...
Yeah, no. And then they went home. The themes of this story... No.
Proceed.
After a tearful goodbye with Circe the witch, the soldiers make their way back in the direction of Ithaca. But to get there, they have to skirt past the land of the sirens, which, as most people know, were sea nymph-like monsters that just look like hot naked women. And they would sing a song so lovely that it would cause sailors to run their ships ashore in chase, causing the boat to sink and the men to drown. It honestly wasn't until much, much later that authors said the motive for sirens to do this was because they were cannibals. So up until that point, the Odyssey included, they just did it because they were a bunch of fucking dicks.
Okay.
I guess I'd do it. I mean,
yeah, hey, and everybody on the ship is like 19.
Yeah, who doesn't throw rocks at cars? So anyway, the guys were ready for this, right? There are benefits to fucking a witch for a year, it turns out. Circe let them know this was coming. So
Wait. Everybody got... Wait. They were turned into pigs, I thought. What...
Yeah. But at least Odysseus knew.
Of pigs?
Yeah, they're men now.
Okay.
Although, if you ask me...
So, wait.
It's one and the same.
Wait, hold up. So, we just did a year detour...
Yeah.
With Circe.
Yeah.
And the whole crew was pigs, and then there were no consequences, and then the crew is just turned back into humans, and now we're dealing with sirens?
Consequences? His dick has an Indian rug burn so deep...
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so Winterland, fucked a god type thing, and then crew was turned to pigs, and then we just turned back, and now we're going for the sirens. Okay, yes. Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, you didn't space out there. That was exactly it.
That's stupid. Let's go.
So Circe let them know this was coming. So everyone plugged their ears with beeswax, except Odysseus, who was curious about the siren song. So he orders his men to tie him to the mast of the ship while they sail by.
He's like, no, I remember this bit. I remember this fucking bit. That's the bit where they tie him to the fucking mast. Nobody else can fucking hear it. And he's just like, no, I want to see how hard I can get.
Pretty much. They're lucky he didn't break through the ropes with that diamond cutter. Yeah, they really got to hold him tight because he's fighting all the way past the island.
Like nobody else can hear shit.
Yeah, it has to be haunting though. Just you don't hear anything. All that you hear is like...
I don't know if haunting would fit it if you were just like holding down the dude who was in charge of everything while his boner ripped through the duct tape.
He's just trying to rub at it. Just like, no. And all that you hear is the muffled song like in the morning.
Like one like you're just like yelling for one dude and he catches your eye and then he's like shit and then just like to like, you know, just figure out what's going on, takes the beeswax out for a second and then he just goes blank and then dives into the water and gets fucking torn to shreds and then you're just like, okay, yeah, no, hold down the captain.
Is that a shark? No, that's not a fin. That's Johnny.
No, that's not a fin. That's a big old titty. And it's scary right
Johnny's
now.
big boner. No, so, they do get to their next obstacle with no losses, however. They then have no choice but to sail between a giant whirlpool they call Charybdis, or these cliffs that house a giant six-headed monster called Scylla. And I mean, between the two, it's either risk losing the whole ship in a whirlpool or lose a few men to the beast. So Odysseus chooses to sail closer to Scylla.
Well, they only have one ship at this point, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
It's a big boat. Who knows? 50 guys, maybe? I don't know.
Fuck.
I'm not a fucking nautical historian. So as they sail close to Scylla, each head of the monster grabs a sailor and eats them. So they get away, but 6 men less. And finally, against Odysseus's wishes, his men land on the island where Helios, god of the sun, keeps his cattle. And not giving a single fuck what a literal oracle from the underworld has to say, his crew decide to kill and eat the cattle anyway. So of course on their way out, Helios creates a storm so large that it shipwrecks the whole crew, killing everyone except Odysseus, who ended up adrift onto Ogygia, or Ogygia, where we first saw him as Calypso's love slave.
Wait, so
That was him telling the tale to the Phaeacians. Basically, like, so where did you go from here? And that was basically it.
Oh, okay.
Now, having concluded the tale of Odysseus, the Phaeacian king and queen agree to send him to Ithaca with their help. They'll pretend it's just a Phaeacian ship with a bunch of Phaeacians on it and no Odysseus, and Poseidon won't be any the wiser. But Poseidon 100% sees the Phaeacians helping Odysseus. So Poseidon waits for the ship to get back home within sight of their docks. Everyone on shore just waiting for their families to get back home from their trip to Ithaca. Then he turns the whole boat to stone and everyone sinks and dies and everyone sees it happen. And now the Phaeacians don't help anyone anymore because Poseidon's a big fat drama queen. I think that was probably like a travelogue kind of thing of like, what if we go to the island of Phaeacia? They don't help anyone. Why? Well, you see, a long time ago. It's like they're just dicks. Well, once he makes it to Ithaca, Athena disguises Odysseus as an old beggar, so he can be hidden in plain sight to see how shit's going down at home. Well, his palace has been practically turned into a frat house by all of Penelope's suitors, so he figures the best prank he can pull as revenge is to just kill everyone. His son Telemachus shows up, and Athena drops the old man disguise, and somehow both Odysseus and Telemachus recognize each other. So just to recap, they haven't seen each other for 20 years. Telemachus is 20 years old. He was an infant. How does he recognize his dad? Oh, you look just like all the pottery in the house said you would. And Telemachus was just a baby at the time Odysseus saw him. How the hell would he know what his son looks like? Anyway, they team up and come up with a plan to seek their revenge on the suitors. So Odysseus shows up at the palace as the beggar. And of course, all the suitors are just the worst pieces of shit known to mankind. One guy for
really? Nobody from a family with money or anything. Just
what, these guys?
Yeah.
They're just all bachelors from the island.
From
there's like 20 of them. So I mean, it's like, I don't know, but yeah, one guy for no reason.
Does it go into it at all? It doesn't go into the
who they are.
at all? Yeah.
I want to say that they do kind of the same thing as the Iliad, where they're like Jonathan, son of John, who was a
Okay, so they do go into it, but by God, I do not want to hear about it.
It's why I don't remember.
Okay, cool.
Just remember all about the wine dark sea.
Anyway, opponents of our hero.
Yes.
All right.
And one guy, for no reason whatsoever, wants to box what he thinks is just this weak old man. Like, he sees a homeless guy. He sees Odysseus as the beggar. He sees a homeless guy. For no reason whatsoever, he's like, I'm going to kick his ass. So he's like, come on, fight me, old man. But Odysseus agrees.
I beat the shit out of old men.
I hate homeless people. But Odysseus agrees to the fight, and Athena gives him extra strength just for funsies. And in any movie, this would be the time when, like, Odysseus would pick up the other guy, toss him in the air like a fucking pizza. Like, he'd do a bunch of goofy shit with him. But instead, Odysseus beats this guy so badly, he tries running away, and Odysseus just chases him down and nearly murders him. And everyone is shocked. Like, everyone's just horrified.
No, dude, that's that old man strength. Yeah. Like, I mean, really.
I just think it's funny, though, that Athena would be like, we'll play this out like a teen movie. This will be cute. And he just, like, instead of just slamming the dude's fucking head in the toilet bowl, just, it's terrifying.
Just fucking grabs him behind the knees, slams him into the fucking concrete, and then grabs his fucking scalp and just starts slamming it.
Just absolutely terrifying.
Just brutalizes.
Things get so heated between Odysseus and the suitors that Odysseus insults one of them, and the guy throws a fucking chair at him, but he misses, and he hits one of Odysseus's slaves instead.
Okay, so what we got going on is Odysseus is now here beating the shit out of the suitors.
Well, no, he only beat the shit out of one guy, and now he's at the dinner table eating with the others, and he's just, like, roasting each one of them.
Yeah, and he's just fucking waiting. Just, like, one of them says something that takes off that little... He has been rounding about in his head for the last 20 fucking years, just doing insult, like, Def Jam shit all fucking day. And, like, he's just like... he's just diving over the table just one by one, taking them out.
With his words, yes. Because he's just insulting them. But, he's just like, one guy is just like, my loaves of bread seem a little uneven on the butter. And Odysseus is over there just like, your eyebrows are uneven. And the guy's just like, fuck you! Just throws a chair and hits one of Odysseus's slaves. Because he is a slave owner. Yeah, well, I gotta point out.
Of fucking course he was. Oh, my bad. This guy from that fucking... this rich guy from fucking forever ago functioned more ethically than the rich guys now. Excuse me.
Like, life can get worse for these people. Like, I was just bringing by some wine and a guy hit me in the face with a fucking chair. Now, Penelope finds this beggar a bit odd, but she wants to meet him. I remember the old days with Odysseus, who used to hit slaves with chairs. So they meet alone, and still without breaking character, Odysseus tells her that he served with her husband in the Trojan War and believes that he'll be returning someday soon. And Penelope's like, what a coincidence. I just had this dream the other night where there were like 20 doves in the palace, and then a hawk comes in and kills them all, and then perches on top of the palace and, in Odysseus's voice, says that he will return. And the beggar's like... kind of sounds like a sign that he will return. And she's like...
Look at my face.
And she's like, nah, anyway, I've been single for 20 years and enough is enough, so I'm just going to have a contest. First guy to shoot an arrow through these holes in the axes wins my pussy. So there are these 12 axes. There's these 12 axes. They're all hung up on the wall and lined up. Each axe has like a hole in the blade. And so you can see these kind of like axe heads online, but no one really knows why they had holes in them. It was probably just the style at the time. Anyway, whoever can string Odysseus's old bow and shoot an arrow through each of the holes on the axes in one shot wins Penelope's hand in marriage. And naturally, everyone tries and everyone fails. They can't even manage to...
I love how she's like, looking at him. And she's just like, I feel like I have an out here. Like,
whoever can recite our vows from memory. They can't. The people can't even manage to string the bow. So when last comes the old beggar who miraculously strings the bow and manages to make the shot in one single try. Now here's the fucked up part. The big plan Odysseus and Telemachus made was just for Telemachus to hide all the suitors' weapons. And while they were all taking turns trying to string the bow, Odysseus took some of his trusty servants outside and told them who he was. And then he fucking arms them with weapons, making this a very one-sided massacre. And in the days prior, there were suitors who wanted to leave, but either Odysseus convinced them to stay.
What? No. Oh, now you want to fucking leave. Absolutely fucking not. No, I know your intent, motherfucker.
They wanted to leave.
Oh, you want to leave now? Now that I'm back? Absolutely. Of course you do. No. Fuck out of here.
He either convinces them to stay. I mean, they don't know he's Odysseus. They just are convinced he's an old beggar. But I mean, yeah, I would be raising some questions. Sure.
Be like, yeah.
Well, he either convinces them to stay or Athena fucking bewitches them to want to stay. There was even one suitor out of the bunch who was actually a very nice guy. He was the only one to treat Odysseus as the beggar kindly. And he even dissuaded the other suitors from plotting to kill Telemachus twice. But Odysseus took him aside at one point and was like, hey man, yeah, you ought to get out of here. Don't go to school tomorrow. And the guy's like, no, I can't. I'm going to stick around just a little bit. And Odysseus is just like, oh, well. So when Odysseus shoots...
There's my effort.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So when Odysseus shoots a second arrow, it goes straight through one guy's throat. And everyone figures it's an accident. But then Athena drops his disguise. And yet again, somehow, they know who this guy is that they've never met before. They know he's Odysseus. But I mean... I guess it kind of makes sense when a guy just drops his fucking tunic and says, quote, behold, home I am come, even I, after much travail and sore, I come in the 20th year to mine own country. So
just fucking toga off, just swinging.
Just dick, just knocking around between his knees like a fucking metronome, just ready to go.
Just fucking bow right there, shooting the axe holes, just fucking slapping back and forth. Like,
oh, they must know I'm Odysseus. No, but they're terrified. Like I would be.
Like, yeah, dude, you're Odysseus.
So it's just a complete slaughter. Odysseus and Telemachus and their favorite servants just commit cold-blooded murder. Everyone is killed except for one of them, who they decide to torture and then kill instead. And they take all the maidservants that were ever nice to the suitors outside and hang them all. Whoa. Good old family fun. Whoa. That's their job, boy. They are slaves. Like, what are you going to do? Say no? Like, that's just so fucked up.
God damn.
All right, so after Odysseus and Penelope reunite, the rest of Ithaca finds out that all 108 of their young men were just murdered horrifically. But it's okay. Because as the families of these men come to take revenge on Odysseus, as they rightfully should, Athena makes everyone forget about the massacre except those who committed it. The end. That's just the end of it. Just, oh, he's the only man left alive. Like, pretty much like, all right. Now, as far as the themes of the Odyssey go, I think the biggest one is, of course, would be like an adventure, so to speak. I mean, of course, people now call great voyages Odysseys. Every checkpoint Odysseus hits in the book, there's almost always a clue to his next challenge, whether it's Circe telling Odysseus, hey, watch out for the sirens, or the ghost of an oracle telling his crew of fuck-ups not to eat livestock. But there's always going to be a hint as to what he runs into next. I mean, Greek poetry, as this may be, have an author today try to write it out, it becomes a fucking adventure novel. This would probably be a young adult series. What? No. Anyway, but the other theme to this I want to talk about is very closely tied to the other, warnings. Warnings are everywhere in the Odyssey. Like I said before, everyone Odysseus comes across is giving him a hint to where he must journey next, but they also come with stern warnings about the dangers of these places. And these warnings aren't always just from people saying, hey, I heard Poseidon wants to give you a paddling. They're sometimes seen as a strike of lightning, or in Penelope's case, a dream. Everyone in the Odyssey is just the most superstitious motherfucker you would ever meet. Everything's a sign. Now that we've discussed the two stories attributed to Homer, we can go over a couple of reasons as to why the Iliad and the Odyssey are believed to have been written by two different people. One of the biggest contrasts between the two is the women. Iliad was almost certainly written way before the Odyssey, as Iliad, minus the goddesses, has no real female characters. The Iliad is all bravado, and the women are little more than objects. I mean, they are literal spoils of war. And I get it. It's a time when war was only done by men while the women stuck around to, paint. So it would seem like it makes total sense for all the books to be from the male perspective. But here's the thing. Helen of Troy is central. The whole reason the war is happening is because of her. And just because she's hidden away in some derelict part of Troy doesn't mean that you couldn't write about her. I mean, look at Penelope. Penelope isn't just given a speaking role. She's conniving, intelligent. She almost seems as Odysseus' equal. And most of the time she's talking to herself or to a maidservant. You're telling me Helen of Troy didn't have a fucking butler to talk to? In the Odyssey, women are actually given a voice. Circe, Calypso, Athena, they've all got very prominent parts in the story. Another big hint for the Iliad and the Odyssey to be by different authors is that Odysseus brings up the Trojan horse in the Odyssey, but doesn't even allude to it in the Iliad. Now, supposedly the Iliad takes place before the Trojan horse. After all, the war is supposed to have ended with that. And at the end of the book, the war is still going on. But Homer was a fucking Greek poet, man. After all this time, the Trojan horse is still the only thing people remember about the Trojan War. Seems like a bit of a missed opportunity to not allude to it in some way. I mean, why not just have a guy show up and say, "Hey fellas, I've been thinking about parade floats a lot and I had this idea." But in reality, there is no factual account of any giant wooden horse ever being used in war. And scholars believe the Trojan horse may have actually been a large battering ram to force open the city gates. And then poets just kind of exaggerated everything leaning forwards. So as far as things go to the Homeric question, did Homer exist? Its only evidence we have is pretty much just comes down to people always saying that the Iliad and the Odyssey were written by him. That's it. And even today, people still believe Homer existed, and that's just fine. But it goes to show that no matter how much time passes, there will always be people that attribute Homer to these two tales. It's kind of like religion in that way. My sources today: The Iliad attributed to Homer, translated by Robert Fitzgerald, Everyman's Library, 1992. The Odyssey attributed to Homer, translated by S.H. Butcher and A. Lang, P.F. Collier and Sons Corporation, Harvard Classics, registered edition, 1937, and Wikipedia. Do you feel educated?
I don't know, a little bit. No. You were like motioning towards me about like halfway through that. I was like, what do you want? No, you're on a roll. You're doing great.
All right. I just got mad about things sometimes.
No. You're doing good. It sounded fucking fantastic. Look at you. Reading through stuff without stuttering.
We are so lucky that people cannot see me.
Oh my God. Oh, me too, brother. God damn.
I just wait for my vision to blur, and then you're a lot more easier to put up with.
No, dude, if people could see me, then the fat jokes wouldn't be as funny.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, man, walking upstairs is going to be so much different for you.
No, dude, okay.
It's trying to get off a chair without shitting yourself. It's a miracle.
Whoa, that bad? Like it just drops for you now?
I'm just saying, it's all core muscle. Does your body weight
force it down?
Yeah, it's all core muscle, You just got clenches getting up.
No. Well, I'm on a strict poop timer.
Dieting, huh?
Oh, no.
IBS?
Yeah. Well, actually, dude, I don't know if I have IBS or if I'm just someone with like a normal cycle that has to
For an alcoholic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who also happens to fucking work outside.
Yeah.
To where I have to like time it in the morning every single fucking day.
Hey, everyone. Have a good time. Become an organ donor today.